You feel it, don't you? Something has changed between you and this person. They try to act normal, but their emotions betray them in small, uncontrollable ways. Their eyes search for you even when they pretend not to care. Their energy shifts the moment you enter the room. Conversations that once felt casual now carry hidden intensity. Carl Jung believed that when someone begins losing control over their feelings for you, it is not a random attraction, it is the unconscious mind awakening. And once the unconscious awakens, emotions no longer obey logic. This person never planned to feel this deeply. In the beginning, you were simply interesting, someone easy to talk to, someone comfortable. They believed they were emotionally stable, self-controlled, independent, but slowly, without warning, you became psychologically significant to them. Jung explained that deep attraction often begins when we encounter someone who reflects our inner world. You did not just enter their life, you entered their psyche. You represent qualities they admire, desire, or secretly lack within themselves. Without realizing it, they began projecting meaning onto you. Your presence started activating emotions they thought they had mastered. That is why they now struggle to remain emotionally neutral around you. They replay conversations with you long after they end. They remember details you yourself may have forgotten. The tone of your voice, the way you reacted to something small. Even moments of silence become meaningful memories to them. This happens because the unconscious mind attaches emotional value before the conscious mind understands why. And once emotional value forms, detachment becomes difficult. You may notice something confusing about them. They come closer, then suddenly pull away. One day they seem emotionally invested, almost intensely connected. The next day they become distant or quiet. This behavior is not uncertainty about you. It is fear of emotional exposure. Jung believed that strong attraction threatens the ego because it breaks the illusion of control. Feeling deeply means risking rejection, vulnerability, and transformation. Their mind tries to protect them by creating distance, but their emotions keep pulling them back, toward you. Inside them, a silent battle begins. Logic says, remain calm. The unconscious whispers, this person matters. They may start questioning themselves. Why do I think about this person so much? Why does their absence feel heavy? Why do their words affect my mood? These questions signal psychological awakening. You have unknowingly become a mirror reflecting parts of their soul they cannot ignore anymore. Around you, they feel seen, and being truly seen is both beautiful and terrifying. It removes emotional masks. It exposes insecurities. It forces authenticity. Jung described love as a process that dissolves the false self. This person is slowly losing the version of themselves that existed before knowing you. That is why their emotions feel uncontrollable. They are not only attracted to you, they are transforming because of you. You might notice nervous energy when they speak to you, small hesitations, unexpected honesty, moments where they almost confess something but stop themselves. These are signs of emotional defenses weakening. They want to express what they feel, yet fear the consequences of revealing too much. The more they try to suppress their feelings, the stronger those feelings become. Suppression feeds emotional intensity. Resistance turns affection into obsession. And now, they stand at a psychological threshold. Their heart is moving faster than their mind can process. They are beginning to realize that you are no longer just someone they like. You have become emotionally important, and once someone reaches this stage, control slowly disappears. What you are witnessing is the beginning of emotional surrender. But surrender does not happen peacefully, because when feelings grow stronger, they awaken something even deeper, the shadow. And in the next phase, this person will not only feel drawn to you, they will begin confronting the parts of themselves they have hidden for years. As their feelings grow stronger, something deeper begins happening inside them. Attraction is no longer simple emotion. It becomes psychological tension. Carl Jung explained that when someone develops powerful feelings for another person, The unconscious mind activates what he called the shadow. The shadow holds everything a person hides from the world: unspoken fears, past heartbreaks, insecurities, and emotional wounds they believed were buried forever. And strangely, your presence awakens all of it at once. That is why their behavior sometimes feels confusing. One moment they appear emotionally open, almost vulnerable, as if they want to tell you everything. The next moment they withdraw, becoming quiet or distant. This inconsistency is not manipulation. It is an internal struggle. Loving you forces them to confront emotions they worked hard to suppress. Your presence disrupts emotional stability they carefully built over years. Around you, they cannot pretend to be unaffected anymore. They start noticing how deeply your opinion influences them. A simple message from you changes their mood. Your silence feels heavier than rejection. Even small interactions begin carrying emotional weight. Jung believed that intense attraction occurs when someone encounters a person who awakens unfinished emotional experiences. You unknowingly touch parts of their past, the love they never expressed, the vulnerability they never allowed, the emotional honesty they were once afraid to show. You become connected not only to their present feelings, but to their emotional history. This realization scares them, because losing control over their feelings means losing emotional protection. They may begin questioning themselves constantly. Why do I care this much? Why do I feel jealous without reason? Why does this person occupy my thoughts even when I try to focus elsewhere? These questions signal the collapse of emotional defenses. Their rational mind tries to restore balance, telling them to slow down, to stay logical, to protect themselves. But the unconscious does not obey commands. It moves toward emotional truth, and emotional truth often feels overwhelming. You may notice them trying to regain control by creating distance. They take longer to reply. They act casual. They pretend indifference. But this behavior usually fails, because emotional attachment has already formed. Jung explained that once projection occurs, the psyche seeks closeness to complete itself. They are drawn back to you again and again, even when they promise themselves they will remain detached. Another sign appears during this phase. They begin revealing parts of themselves they rarely show others. Personal stories emerge unexpectedly. Vulnerabilities surface in conversations. They might share fears, dreams, or insecurities they normally hide. This happens because their unconscious senses emotional safety with you. When someone feels psychologically recognized, emotional barriers weaken naturally. Yet this openness creates panic, because now they understand something undeniable. You have emotional power over them, and realizing someone matters deeply means accepting the possibility of loss. Jung believed that love introduces existential fear, the fear of emotional dependence. This person begins recognizing that your presence influences their happiness. Your absence affects their emotional stability, and this awareness makes them feel exposed. They may attempt to analyze you, trying to understand why you affect them so strongly. They observe your reactions carefully. They search for signs that you feel something similar. Every gesture becomes meaningful. Every conversation becomes evidence they silently study. They are not playing games. They are trying to understand emotions they cannot fully control. Inside them, two forces now exist simultaneously. One side longs for emotional closeness, connection, and authenticity. The other side fears vulnerability, rejection, and change. This psychological tension creates emotional intensity that grows stronger each day. They begin realizing that avoiding their feelings is becoming impossible. Something inside them wants expression. Something wants truth. And slowly, they approach the most critical stage. Jung described the moment when attraction transforms into emotional surrender. Because when someone can no longer deny what they feel, control finally breaks. And in the final phase, this person will face a choice that changes everything. Either they retreat to protect themselves, where they step forward and allow their feelings for you to fully take over their heart and identity. Now, the final stage begins, the moment when emotions can no longer remain hidden. Carl Jung believed that when someone loses control over their feelings, the psyche reaches a turning point. Up until now, this person has been fighting internally, trying to maintain balance between logic and emotion. But emotional truth has a strange power. It refuses to stay silent forever. Something inside them is changing permanently. They wake up thinking about you before their mind has time to organize the day. Your presence occupies emotional space they once reserved only for themselves. Even when they try to distract themselves with work, friends, or routine, thoughts of you return unexpectedly. Jung described this as psychic attachment, the unconscious recognizing someone as emotionally significant to personal growth. You are no longer just a person they like. You have become part of their inner world. At this stage, control truly begins slipping away. They start feeling emotions before they can rationalize them. Jealousy appears without warning. Concern for your well-being becomes instinctive. Your happiness matters to them in ways they cannot explain logically. They may even become surprised by their own reactions. Why did that comment hurt so much? Why did seeing you distant create anxiety? These reactions reveal that emotional investment has deepened beyond attraction. Their identity is quietly reorganizing around the connection they feel with you. Jung believed love activates individuation, the process through which a person becomes their authentic self. Through loving another person deeply, individuals confront who they truly are beneath social masks. Around you, they feel compelled to be genuine. Pretending becomes exhausting. Emotional honesty feels unavoidable. That is why you may notice moments where they almost confess their feelings. Their words pause halfway. Their eyes reveal emotions, their voice struggles to express. Silence becomes heavy, because unspoken truth fills the space between you. Inside them, resistance is weakening. The emotional walls they built over years are slowly collapsing. They begin accepting something they once denied. They cannot control how deeply they feel for you. This realization creates vulnerability, but also relief. Fighting emotions requires constant energy. Surrender brings emotional clarity. They start imagining a future that includes you, not intentionally at first. It happens unconsciously, thinking about sharing experiences, conversations, or moments together. You become part of their emotional expectations. And when someone reaches this stage, their behavior subtly transforms. They prioritize you without announcing it. They listen more carefully. They notice when something feels wrong with you, even before you say anything. Emotional attunement develops naturally because their attention has shifted toward your emotional world. Yet fear still exists. Jung emphasized that true emotional attachment forces individuals to face the possibility of rejection and loss. Loving deeply means accepting uncertainty. This person understands that expressing their feelings could change everything. The connection might deepen, or it might end. That uncertainty creates emotional tension unlike anything they have experienced before. Some people retreat at this moment, choosing safety over vulnerability. But others step forward, allowing love to reshape them completely. If they move forward, it will not be because they suddenly gained control. It will be because they accepted losing it. Because real connection begins when control ends. And here lies the deepest truth, Jung revealed. When someone loses control over their feelings for you, it often means you have awakened something essential within them, the desire to be seen, understood, and emotionally alive. You did not force this transformation. You simply existed authentically enough to trigger recognition within their soul. They feel drawn to you because, through you, they glimpse a more complete version of themselves. That is why their emotions feel unstoppable. You are not just someone they want. You are someone who changes how they experience themselves. And once a person associates another human being with emotional awakening, Forgetting becomes almost impossible. Whether they confess their feelings openly or continue struggling silently, one truth remains certain. Their emotional world has already shifted because of you. They are no longer the same person they were before meeting you. Control has faded. Authentic feeling has taken its place. And now, consciously or unconsciously, they stand before the most powerful realization of all, that loving you is no longer a choice they can simply turn off. It has become part of who they are becoming.